Shabbat Shalom. First, I want to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem Yahushai, Bahashem Rachak Kodash. Double honors to the apostles of Great Millstone, and peace and blessings to the elect. Here I have this video here, okay, from the History Channel. Okay, it says Doomsday, 10 ways the world will end, and this is specifically dealing with the alien invasion. All right, well, like it says here, alien strategies, which is a bonus. All right, now I believe the Apostle Ramlab had did a video on the. I didn't really get to see it, but I think it was going into the nuclear end, and Apostle Tahar did a follow up on that too. But yeah, basically, when you watch this video, I can try to play it, but I'm not sure if it's gonna buffer. If it starts buffering, I'll just pause it. But I have the link to the video in the description box. So if you click the description, you should be able to see it from there. So you know what? Let's try to play this real quick.
It's a fight for survival against an alien invasion.
We've been broadcasting our presence into outer space, intentionally or unintentionally, for decades, ever since the coming of radio and television.
In the infinite scale of our galaxy, there has to be another intelligent form of existence.
If extraterrestrials came here to Earth and tried to fight us, I'm pretty sure we would lose. There's a simple reason for that. As an intelligent, technological civilization, humanity is pretty young.
If we faced an alien invasion, an alien attack, I think it would come across a number of different fronts. Firstly, I think they'd probably blind us by destroying our satellites. Then I think they might try to take down the grid, and that effectively knocks out the power.
Of course, the most logical areas to strike would be where the government leaders congregate, and also where the military congregates for their ability to control any situation that might affect their country. So consequently, it would be Moscow, it would be Paris, it would be London, it would be Washington, D.C.
They strike with more powerful weapons than we've ever seen. From energy beams to biological warfare.
It's not going to be pretty. However, after the dust settles, we're going to be able to understand their technology. We're going to understand where their power comes from. We're going to understand their command structure, how information flows with.
Right now, I paused it here because here it is. We understand what they're saying. They're saying basically that, you know, if there was an alien invasion, which to their ignorance or their lack of knowledge, according to the scriptures, there will be a so-called alien invasion. All right, which the word alien simply means foreigner. All right, but that alien invasion is going to be with is going to be the second coming, all right, of the Lord, the Messiah, Yahushai, along with the angels. So what they've portrayed, or those that they've portrayed to be aliens and so on and so forth, extraterrestrial life, that's really the angels and the Lord coming from the fourth dimension. And this shows you the pride of Esau, because here it is, he's talking about, yeah, we're gonna lose when we go up against them, but after we lose, we're gonna be able to examine their technology and take that in and redesign and engineer it to have a counterattack. Because in Esau's mind, he's basically, which is prideful, because they're saying that, well, in their mind, they're basically saying there's gonna be casualties on both sides, because in order for them to examine the technology from the aliens, they need to have captured the alien ship or something of that sort, right? So let me just finish this video real quick.
In that empire, and then we will begin to identify weak points that will allow us to mount our counterattack.
You hear that? And matter of fact, let me get a perfect precept on that. Okay, let me get something on that, because here he says, and then they will begin to find weak points. All right, weak points, which is gonna allow them, okay, to then counterattack. Okay, which that just shows you Esau's pride, man, because the chariots don't have weak points. Okay, ain't no weak points in here. But you know what? Let's get this. Malachi 1:3. And I hated Esau and laid his mountains and his heritage waste for the dragons of the wilderness. Whereas Edom saith, we are impoverished, right? But we will return and build the desolate places. Thus saith the Lord of hosts, they shall build, but I will throw down, and they shall call them the border of wickedness, and the people against whom the Lord hath indignation forever. So here it is. They admit that they're gonna suffer a defeat, but in their mind, they don't see that they're gonna completely get taken out of power. No, their mind is, oh well, we're gonna lose the battle, but we're gonna come back to win the war. All right. Like it says here, we are impoverished, but we will return and build the desolate places. We will come back and gain a victory from the previous loss. Like that whole concept of the phoenix rising from the ashes. All right. Guess what? The way the story is written, you don't win at the end, Esau. Okay. And that's why the scriptures say the pride of thine heart, the heart, Hebrew word for heart is lab, meaning your mind. All right. The pride of thy heart or thy mind hath deceived thee. So you think in your mind, all right, that this is how it's going to go down. Because these elites know and they believe the prophecy that Yahushua is going to come back. But they only believe it so much because their minds, they know what the scriptures have said about the Lord's return, but they don't want to accept the second part of the Lord taking them down. So what are they going to do? They're going to fight. Because just like anybody who's on top, they don't want to go down. And they're gonna put up a hell of a fight before they go down. But that's the thing, you're fighting against an undefeatable enemy. All right. So there's gonna be no counterattack, all right, against the Lord and the angels. No, that's not gonna happen. The scriptures say they were scared and yet there's fight. But what did Ezra say? He said after the Lord had unleashed that powerful laser beam, the only thing that was to be perceived was dust and smell of smoke. So ain't no counterattacks from that. All right.
If we're attacked by an alien advanced intelligence, I don't think we have any hope of surviving.
You hear that? From his mouth, he said it from his mouth, man. If we're attacked by an alien intelligence, he doesn't think they have any hope of surviving. Okay. Now, here's the dynamic Esau tries to push it through, right? Because they know the truth, but when they put it up on their channels, you know what they'll say? They'll say, well, if there's an alien invasion, when they speak of we, all right, when Esau speaking as we, I don't think we stand a chance. He's trying to make it a whole. We as a human race. Oh, no. Because when you were ruling, it was you. When these Edomites were on top, it was them. It wasn't us as a human race, us as Homo sapiens succeeding. No. It was the Edomite race, primarily their elites. But when it comes time for judgment and the Lord comes back for revenge, then all of a sudden he's coming against all of us. Then all of a sudden we don't stand a chance. Speak for yourself, my man. Okay, you don't stand a chance because the scriptures say that the judgment, if you're not of the elect, you're gonna get caught up in that judgment. Okay, but the elect are good, man. But primarily these Edomites are gonna get it the worst. That's why they want to, when the time of judgment comes, that's when it is a unified thing. We all have to stand together and fight. We all have to come together and prevent this from happening. No. All right. So let's finish this clip.
Motion picture images of a brave and gallant resistance force clutching a rifle, fighting off an alien. I don't think that's going to happen.
Got that right. You see that? So now here's the thing that you should ask: why are they even putting this as a possibility? Where do they get that idea of they could possibly be an alien invasion? And what did they title it as? Doomsday. You see, because in all their movies and all their shows and concepts of alien invasions, for some reason the aliens never come in peace. For some reason the aliens don't want to come in and just have signed peace treaties with you, but they always come to destroy. They always come to cause some sort of chaos, some sort of havoc. Why is that? Because they get this from the scriptures. It's written in the Bible. It's prophesied, and don't get it twisted. It's not going to be a this or that situation. No, it's going to be a this and that situation. You see, so you might have another series on Doomsday by World War III, the War of Armageddon, nuclear missiles, and then you might have another series on Doomsday of the world ending by way of alien invasion. Well, according to the scriptures, Doomsday is going to be a nice inclusion of all of that. That's the apocalypse. Okay, that's Doomsday. You will have missiles raining down as well as a so-called alien invasion. Okay, so it's going to be hell within and without, and there's going to be no escape. All right, because when you watch these shows and so on and so forth, they'll put certain truth factors in there because they know the truth. But then they'll try to they do what's called disinformation, where they put the truth in there, but then they mix it up with lies and fables. So they'll accept the fact that they don't stand a chance against a quote unquote alien invasion, but then they'll try to add on, well, we can, after assessing their technology, we can try to. No, this is technology that's coming straight from the spirit world. All right, the technology that you have today, the Most High put it in your mind to do that. He put it in your spirit, in your mind, to create that. All right, whether it was the atomic bomb or intercontinental ballistic missile, or the Wright brothers, okay, or cars, or any technology you might have, the Lord put it in your mind to create that. All right, and here it is. You're gonna use something the Lord gave you to fight against Him, His Son, and His angels. That's not how. Would you think the Lord is gonna give you technology or information that's above that of His own Son? That's not how it works. Now, this is Isaiah chapter 66, verse 15. For behold, the Lord will come with fire and with His chariots like a whirlwind. What are those chariots? Well, let's find out. Okay, what do the scriptures mean by chariots or clouds? Well, that's what this world is knows as UFOs. Okay, Psalms 104, verse 3. Okay, because when you read it and it talks about the Lord comes with the clouds, it's not referring onto physical clouds, man. All right, Psalms 104, verse 3. It says, who layeth the beams of his chambers in the waters, who maketh the clouds his chariot, who walketh upon the wings of the wind. All right, so we know what the clouds are not literal clouds, all right, but are referring to the chariots. Now, what are the chariots? Let me see if I get this precept. We're gonna get some understanding on that. I think this is what second Kings, First Kings. Let me see, chariots of. Should be a precept there. So keep in mind that what the scriptures say, the Lord maketh the clouds his chariot, right? All right, this is Second Kings 6, verse start at verse 15. It says, and when the servant of the man of God was risen early and gone forth, behold, an host compassed the city, both with horses and chariots, because you have different kinds of chariots, because a chariot is just a vehicle. You have modern day cars are chariots. Okay, you have the ancient chariots, which are, where they got the horses and the carriages and all that. That's because when people hear the word chariots, that's automatically the first thing they think about. But chariot simply means a vehicle, right? So it says, both with horses and chariots, and his servant said unto him, alas, my master, how shall we do? So they compass the city with physical chariots and horses. Verse 16, and he answered, fear not, for they that be with us are more than they that be with them. What did he mean by this? He meant, all right, because he was referring onto the angels, all right, and the spirit and power of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai, because the city was compassed by men and their chariots. But Elisha was telling his servant, don't worry about that. Because, yeah, they might have physical chariots, they might have their hosts and their armies, but the armies that we have are much greater than what they have. All right, verse 17. And Elisha prayed, because you can't see into the fourth dimension. That's why you don't see the angels around us, but they're still there. Okay. Verse 17. And Elisha prayed and said, Lord, I pray thee, open his eyes that he may see. Now, what does this mean, open his eyes that he may see? Because just like in Revelation 13 and 9, he that have an ear, let him hear. All right. This servant's eyes were clearly already opened, his physical eyes, his carnal eyes, because if not, how did he see the chariots that were around for him to be scared? All right. So what does it mean by open his eyes? It meant for the Lord to open his spiritual eyes. Okay. And let's see what happened after the Lord opened his eyes. And the Lord opened the eyes of the young man, and he saw, and behold, the mountain was full of horses and chariots of fire round about Elisha. Okay. So what are those chariots of fire? Those chariots of fire were so-called UFOs. Because which we've seen them in real life before, but when you look up and you see it, or even you look up a YouTube video, they look like bright balls of light. Okay. So that's why it says chariots of fire, because it's energy. Okay. Yeah, that's basically it. That's basically what I'm going to read on that, just to get the understanding. Like we read in Psalms 104 verse 3, he maketh the clouds his chariot. Well, that chariot is referring onto these kinds of chariots, which are divine chariots, the vehicles of the angels and the Lord, and soon to be us. Because in the kingdom, we're going to get our own chariots. Okay. Very soon, we're not going to be driving in cars. No, we're going to be flying. All right. In so-called UFOs. Yes, we're going to be chilling in chariots. Okay. That's going to be our vehicles, man. Imagine not having to worry about losing your car keys. Ah, damn, yo, my car got stolen. Yo, what you think in the kingdom you're going to hear? Yo, damn, my chariot got hijacked. My chariot got stolen. I got to get some gas for that. You know, I got a flat tire. No, none of that. Okay. Here it is. You don't gotta go warm up your car, try to look for parking for hours, and none of that, man. You go wherever you at, your chariot is gonna come, and it's gonna beam you up into it, and then wherever you think, wherever your spirit wants to go, is gonna go. Okay. It ain't like now you gotta press all these buttons and then take, get the, hit the brake, move this from reverse or park into drive, and all these different things. No. All right. But going back to the point, so these chariots are what's gonna come, all right, to like we read in Isaiah 66 and 15. For behold, the Lord will come with fire, and with his chariots like a whirlwind. So now we know what those chariots are. Okay, those chariots are the so-called UFOs. So that means what? The Lord is gonna come in a so-called UFO. All right. It says like a whirlwind, to render his anger with fury and his rebuke with flames of fire. So this explains why when those UFOs come and they depicted in the movies, they never come peacefully. They always come to destroy. Why? Because the Lord is coming among them, and he's not coming. He's angry. All right. He's coming to get revenge. Rightfully so. Okay. So like it says, his rebuke with flames of fire. And primarily, where's his main target? He's coming here, man. All right. It says, for by fire and by his sword will the Lord plead with all flesh. Now, what fire? Is the Lord going to jump out of his ship and do some Naruto hand signs and spit fire out his mouth? Some fireball jutsu? No. Okay. But this is talking about because those chariots are not just for sightseeing. They don't just come around just to fly around and you see them and you get excited and, oh, look, there's a chariot. Let's point at it. No, those chariots are equipped. Okay. They are equipped to do damage. So when they come to this place, as I have the scripture on deck, they enter into the house of the thief. They're going to do damage, man. Okay. They're going to burn this place, man, along with those nuclear missiles. So yeah, they're right. They're right to be scared and to have this as a doomsday scenario, because that is what's going to happen to this place. Just as Trump called us the prophets of doom, we're prophesying of doomsday. Okay. It says, for by fire and by his sword will the Lord plead with all flesh. And that all flesh is referring unto those that are written in the book of life. All right. Those that are not of the elect, primarily All right. If you hear on Babylonian soil, that means the Lord really wanted you to get this work, man. He took you from wherever you at, made sure you were here to because this is the main judgment area. All right. It says, and the slain of the Lord shall be many. All right. As we read, when you read in 2nd Ezra, the 13th chapter, it tells you that what of an innumerable multitude, there was nothing to be perceived but dust and smell of smoke. All right. Now, let's jump to Isaiah. Matter of fact, before we get that, let's get this. Revelation 1, verse 7. Okay, which is a main precept we bring out a lot, but hey, it's prophecy. All right, Revelation 1, verse 7. Behold, he cometh with the clouds. Who is this he? Let's go to 1, verse 1. The revelation of Yahushua HaMashiach, because this is not Jesus Christ, is not his name. Okay, the time period in which he was born, these letters didn't even exist. All right, letter J wasn't even in existence. All right, so it says the revelation of Yahushua HaMashiach, which is his true name in the Hebrew, which the Most High gave unto him to show unto his servants things which must shortly come to pass, and he sent and signified it by his angel unto his servant John. So we know that when we go to verse 7, this he is referring unto the same he that is talking about in verse 1. Behold, he, Yahushua, the Messiah, cometh with the clouds, which are, like we explained, Psalms 104, verse 3, the clouds are the chariots. And what are those chariots? Like we read in Second Kings, those chariots are those so-called UFOs. You can read about that in Ezekiel, the 1st chapter, and Ezekiel, the 10th chapter as well. So he cometh with the clouds, or he's going to come in a so-called UFO, a big giant UFO, like in the movie Independence Day. And every eye shall see him, because if a giant UFO was to pull up out of nowhere in the sky right now, everybody's going to see it. Okay? It says, and they also which pierced him, which proves to us that, because who pierced the Lord? And when was he pierced? He was pierced over 2,000 years ago when he was crucified. And who pierced him? Roman centurions. Okay? So how are they who died 2,000 years plus ago gonna see the Lord when he comes back? It's a process of reincarnation, because that generation which was back then is back here today, the righteous and the wicked. Okay, it says, and all kindreds of the earth shall wail because of him, even so Aman, because the Lord, as it tells you, the day of the Lord, woe unto you that desire the day of the Lord. Okay, because the day of the Lord is not going to be as they portray it to be. The day of the Lord is going to be gloomy, darkness, scary, a lot of death and destruction. And you will have salvation, all right, for those that have been chosen, the elect. All right, shalom. So where we at? It says shall will because of him, because people don't, pursuant to Wisdom of Solomon, the 5th chapter, people don't understand, all right, or expect, it's beyond their comprehension to even think of seeing something like that. People, the regular common people, don't ever think in their common life that one day, very soon, they're going to see an alien, a so-called alien invasion, and that's going to bring about the end of their life and society as they believe it to be. That's the last thing on anybody's mind. If you were to even tell them about it, they look at you like you have 3 heads, like you're crazy, like you actually believe this. Are you crazy? But if we were so crazy, why would that be one of the scenarios here on the History Channel? You know? So that was basically it on Revelation 1 and 7. Now let's get to Isaiah 19 and 1. But before I get that, let me hold a precept on deck. Revelation 11, 8. All right. So this is Isaiah 19 and 1. It says, the burden of Egypt, behold, the Lord right now. Keep in mind, the scriptures, a lot of scriptures are twofold. You know, you have them written, all right, for a historical sense, okay, and you have them written for a prophetic sense, okay. So a lot of the times, the prophets of old, you know, they call them the major prophets, all right. You have Jeremiah, Isaiah, Ezekiel, all right, Daniel. You know, a lot of them, they prophesied certain things which dealt with the scenario that was taking place at hand, all right. But at the same time, it was also prophetic, referring on to the future times. Okay, and the Lord gave us the understanding, starting with our elders and apostles of Great Millstone on down, to understand which certain precepts refer onto or are written in a prophetic sense as well. Okay, so Isaiah 19:1, it says, the burden of Egypt, behold, the Lord rideth upon a swift cloud. Now we got the understanding of what the cloud was, right? And shall come into Egypt. Okay, and the idols of Egypt shall be moved at his presence, and the heart of Egypt shall melt in the midst of it. All right, now it says what? He shall come into Egypt. Now you're thinking, well, does that mean the Lord, when he comes back, he's going to go into the land of Egypt? No. All right. What that Egypt that is talking about is really referring to America, because America, all right, is has many names. You know, America is referred to as the daughter of Babylon. Okay, America is referred to as Sodom. America is also referred to as Egypt. All right, Americans also referred to as the Assyrians, that bloody city. Okay, so you got to understand, and that's why it's good when you understand certain keywords and what they mean. When you read certain scriptures, you can get it. You can put the pieces together. But let's get some proof on how America is Egypt. All right, Revelation chapter 11, verse 8. It says, and their dead bodies shall lie in the street of the great city, all right, which spiritually is called Sodom and Egypt, where also our Lord was crucified. Okay, now their dead bodies, this is not literal. Okay, it's not talking about literal dead bodies, but when you read Ezekiel, the 37th chapter, okay, it talks about the valley of dry bones, that valley just means lowland. So that valley of dry bones is really here, and those dry bones are not literally dead dry bones, but it represents Israel, all right, in the state of a spiritual death, basically, not knowing who we are, okay, not having our nationality, not having wisdom, okay, the true wisdom, all right. So we were what? We were basically dead. But through prophecy, all right, through the act of prophesying, all right, and the spirit of mercy of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai, we got that breath that got into us, all right, primarily the elect, that made us that exceedingly great army. However, like it says here, that dead bodies shall lie in the street of the great city. All right, now, get a quick precept real quick. This is Revelation 17. This is Revelation 17, and I'm just going to get to the point just to prove that great city, all right, going into America. Okay. This is all right, Revelation 17:1. It says, and there came one of the, and I'm gonna just run through it. It says, and there came one of the seven angels which had the seven vials, and talked with me, saying unto me, come hither, I will show unto thee the judgment of the great whore, which sitteth upon many waters. Who is that great whore? Well, let's jump down to verse 4. And the woman, all right, was arrayed in purple and scarlet color, and decked, when that woman is talking about that whore, and decked with gold and precious stones and pearls, having a golden cup in her hand full of abominations and filthiness of her fornication. And upon her forehead was a name written, Mystery Babylon the Great, the mother of harlots and abominations of the earth. Okay, so we know that that woman represents what? Babylon. Okay, cool. Now let's jump down to all right, verse 18, Revelation 7:18. It says, and the woman which thou sawest is that great city, okay, which reigneth over the kings of the earth. So that great city is also known as what? That woman, that whore. And who is that whore known as? Like we read in verse 5, Mystery Babylon the Great. And what is Babylon? Babylon is America. Okay, so that great city, all right, or that woman, synonymous, is the same thing. It's not a physical woman, but it's referring onto a place, right? So when we go back to Revelation 11:8, it says what? And their dead body shall lie in the city of the great, in the street of the great city. What great city? Jump back to Revelation 7:17 and 18. And the woman which thou sawest in that great city. Once again, that great city is talking about the same place. Okay. Oh, Slakia is that great city. So that great city is what? Babylon. All right. AKA America. So when you read Revelation 11 and 8, it says what? And their dead bodies, all right, meaning Israel in a dead state, shall lie in the street of the great city, which is America. But what is that? What is America or that great city also known as? Which is spiritually called Sodom. What was Sodom known for? Read up on Sodom and Gomorrah, okay, and compare that to what you see going on in America today. And Egypt, okay, where also our Lord was crucified. The Lord was not, we know the Lord was not crucified in Egypt or Sodom, but he was what? He was crossed out here, okay? So we understand that what? That great city, another name for that great city would be Egypt. And that great city we know to be what? Babylon, which is America. So going back to Isaiah 19 and 1, the burden of Egypt, behold, the Lord rideth upon a swift cloud and shall come into Egypt or America. And the idols of Egypt shall be moved at his presence, and the heart of Egypt shall melt in the midst of it. And I will set the Egyptians against the Egyptians. So now we understand that it's talking about, really it's talking about Esau. Okay, because that this America and the whole beast that we're in again, the Roman Empire 2.0, okay, is ruled by who? Esau. Okay. It says, and they shall fight everyone against his brother, and everyone against his neighbor, city against city, and kingdom against kingdom. And that's what you see going on today. Okay. Boom. So let's now, so we understand that what? Those clouds represent those UFOs. And where's that coming? That's coming. Really, the Lord's going to come to the whole earth. But the main spot where he's coming to is America. You can read about that in Isaiah, the 63rd chapter. Okay. So last precept. This is Zechariah chapter 5, verse 1. Then I turned and lifted up mine eyes and looked, and behold, a flying roll. All right, and that's also another way of saying a UFO. And he said unto me, what seest thou? And I answered, I see a flying roll. The length of it, or the length thereof, is 20 cubits, and the breadth thereof 10 cubits. Then said he unto me, this is the curse that goeth forth over the face of the whole earth. For every one that stealeth shall be cut off, as on this side according to it, and every one that sweareth shall be cut off, as on that side according to it. All right. And who's the number one thief? Okay. Who's the number one thief? Who came and stole us from the west coast of Africa and brought us here? Okay. Super Demon says, if angels can fly and teleport, why do they need spaceships? Well, if you could walk and run, why do you need a car? All right. But hey, it's just that's how the Lord made it. All right. He made chariots as a means of interdimensional travel, you could say. Okay. But it's just as a vehicle, or a divine vehicle, you could say. All right. Now verse 4. It says, I will bring it forth, saith the Lord of hosts, and it shall, because when the chariots come, that's going to be what? That's a curse. Because when them look, we focus on the war of Armageddon, we focus on the missiles and all these different things, but when them chariots come in here, it's also going to be a time of like, people are going to be in shock. Because when you read Wisdom of Solomon, the 5th chapter, it tells you what? They're not, it's so far beyond anything that anybody looked for, you know? To actually see a chariot up close, nobody's going to be able to deny it then. And then to see angels from that, boy, people ain't expecting that, man. Zechariah 5 and 4, it says, I will bring it forth, saith the Lord of hosts, and it shall enter into the house of the thief. All right. And that thief is who? Esau. And where's his primary house? We in there right now. It says, and into the house of him that sweareth falsely by my name, and it shall remain in the midst of his house, and shall consume it with the timber thereof and the stones thereof. So what can cause, all right, a consumption, all right, of somebody's house, you know, with the timber and the stones and everything? Heat, fire, but not just any fire, all right, a special kind of concentrated fire, a kind of fire that those chariots can emit, as well as those nuclear missiles. Because A regular fire can burn a building, but you'll still have remains after. But the scriptures say when them nuclear missiles are done, along with the fires from the angels, from their chariots, this place is going to be a desert. It's going to reverse, all right, the buildings back to their atomic form. Okay. It's gonna completely denature the structure, all right, of this place, man. And so, matter of fact, let me end it off with this scripture. 2 Peter 3 verse 8. Second Peter 3 verse 8. Actually, it's I think it's, what is this? Yep, 3 verse 10. But the day of the Lord will come as a thief in the night, in the which the heavens shall pass away with a great noise. All right, which is talking about the missiles, and the elements shall melt with fervent heat, and the earth also and the works that are therein shall be burned up. So we understand that that heat is going to be not only. Oh, matter of fact, let me read verse 11. Seeing then that all these things shall be dissolved, what manner of persons ought ye to be in all holy conversation and godliness? Okay, verse 12. Looking for and hasting unto the coming of the day of the Lord, wherein the heavens being on fire shall be dissolved, and the elements shall melt with fervent heat. All right. So it's not going to be just the nuclear missiles, but you're also going to have chariots, all right, destroying this place. So you know what? These people, all right, according to their doomsday scenario, they got it partially right. But after the Lord is done with this place, it's not going to be a fighting back. It's not going to be, well, it's time for us to analyze and assess what you have. So when they say in Area 51 they have quote unquote aliens, they might have some failed experiments that they try to do, but they don't have aliens because aliens are really just angels. And they don't have no angels. Well, they got Archangel Michael in a little tube, you know what I'm saying, and just, you know, it's some green tube in a some sub basement somewhere, you know, and they got like Archangel Gabriel just like chained up to something. They just experimenting on him, cutting off his wings, chopping it. No, no, it's not possible. Okay, that's not happening. So they damn sure don't have no, because ain't no chariot gonna come from the spirit world, right? From another dimension and come and crash land in this dimension. Are you serious? Okay, nah, that's not what's gonna happen, man. Okay, so hey, according to the scriptures, this is prophecy, all right, and this is what's to come very soon, man. Okay, so hey, we look forward to this because when this comes, man, that's our deliverance. Okay, so Lord willing, this was edifying unto the elect. I want to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem Yahweh Shai, Bahashem Rachakudash. Until next time, Shalom.